It's been inevitable for a while that Twitter needs to be bought. Not because the platform isn't amazing. In fact, I would argue that Twitter may still be the very best social platform for immediate delivery of news, information, and for connecting people worldwide with its rapid platform for sharing links, data, and the fact that it's been less tampered with in terms of the algorithm and what people see and its searchability. So there's so many upsides to Twitter. However, its lack of a clear business model has long hampered it from growing and continuing to compete in the global markets the way its competitors have, such as Facebook. Now, Salesforce was one of the first rumors that came to the table. And because Salesforce has such a large business in handling real-time customer service, there is a natural fit between Salesforce and Twitter and having Twitter in its ecosystem. However, I would like to say I highly doubt that Salesforce will successfully acquire Twitter. Now, some of the other suitors are Microsoft, Google, and Verizon. And I see Google being a logical buyer. They've long been rumored to be acquiring Twitter. However, every time they've delved into the social media space, I would say Google's been a massive flop. So will Google acquire Twitter to try to fix that and right their course? I think that could happen. However, if the acquisition happens in real time today, I'm leaning towards Google not being the one to make the acquisition. I think Google would be more patient and wait while Twitter continues to flounder and actually look to pick up Twitter for a better deal. Microsoft just acquired LinkedIn. You would think, hey, that's a nice natural fit. But once again, I don't see Microsoft making the same move. See, Microsoft with their CRM business, much like Salesforce, LinkedIn was a much better fit because it added the social element that has long been missing from Microsoft Dynamics, Great Plains, CRM solutions. And now with LinkedIn, they're gonna have way more customer data and a more engaging, only slightly more engaging platform to integrate some ways into their CRM and also to utilize all that data. So that leaves Verizon. And I believe with the different plays that Verizon has, there's a couple of really, really good reasons for Verizon to make the purchase. One, they are trying, and I would say succeeding in many ways in becoming one of the largest media players in the world. Now, they're best known for their cell phone business. However, Verizon's been buying up media around the world. They've been growing their enterprise practices, and they recently made the Yahoo acquisition, which made them a much, much bigger media player. And the Twitter acquisition could actually do a couple things for them. One is it will give them the real-time media connection that people look for that Yahoo is kind of lost. And the second thing, and this is something that may be underplayed a little bit, but right now Verizon, with the scandal with Yahoo and the 500 million breached email addresses, could use some positive press. And even though Verizon has not completed the Yahoo acquisition, it would immediately turn eyes away from this 500 million breached records and put all the attention on Verizon acquiring Twitter. Now, a couple more points I want to make. First, I think that whoever acquires Twitter needs to make sure they leave it intact for the most part. The reason I would hate to see Facebook is, even though Facebook has done such a good job with their ad platform, I really think they've taken a lot of the real-time value out of Facebook, and that's what's really kept the loyalists on Twitter, and that's their base. The second thing, whoever acquires Twitter needs to figure out a strategy to get more people involved in Twitter, because I firmly believe that once people figure out how to use it, it is the best platform for making connections out of all of the social platforms. And so the opportunity to have that real-time media and connect the world and keep everything brief, which is great in an era where attention is a huge priority, they will have a clear winner. However, if a brand decides to take in Twitter and change it to become more of what everyone else has done with social, with algorithms, I think most of what makes it work will fade away, and the acquisition and all the money that is invested in it could easily go to waste. So we'll keep eyes on what happens next, but let's hope that Twitter stays pure and finds itself a great new home.